What do you make of this Facebook move this morning?
Well, look, it's very concerning, but probably not surprising. I mean, this is a company that has demonstrated its contempt for governments and for regulators around the world. This is a company that's currently seeking to appeal a privacy decision by the Australian Information Commissioner by arguing that it doesn't do business in Australia. You know, I mean, it's not surprising.
Do you think this is just part of the negotiating process? Because we saw Google threaten this as well.
Well, I'd hope so. Facebook is an important part of Australian society. It's used by 16, 17, 18 million Australians, and it is incredibly concerning at this time, at any time, for a platform to remove reliable, accurate news sources and leave it flooded with misinformation and disinformation, which we know Facebook is not very successful at removing from its site.
So what does Facebook risk if it continues with this tactic?
Well, I think, its reputation will be in tatters. It will lose a lot of users. In Australia, I suspect. It will lose traffic. It will lose money. But it's really something that should be resolved, and one would hope that the government can find a way through it.
Has Facebook become less important for media organisations anyway?
Look, I think that's hard to say. It still is important. It still is an important source of news for many Australians.
Should the federal government stand firm on this bargaining code?
Absolutely. We elect governments. No one elects Mark Zuckerberg. We elect governments to govern, and to back down in the face of this corporate bullying would be disastrous.
So for people not familiar with the story, take us through what this bargaining code actually is.
Well, look, essentially it's just trying to get a fair return from huge platforms who have increasingly dominated the advertising market in this country, exercising monopoly power, which we're seeing demonstrated today by Facebook's actions, and get some fair return to news organisations who produce at great expense public interest journalism.
What do you make of Facebook's argument on this, and that is that this bargaining code fundamentally misunderstands the relationship between Facebook and publishers, and Facebook is actually doing the publishers a favour by directing traffic towards those websites?
Well, look, they can put it that way. I mean, the fact is they make a lot of money. They make billions and billions and billions of dollars. They make lots of money in Australia. They pay very little tax because of the way they structure their affairs. That's the reality.
Are you happy with the bargaining code as it is? It passed through the Senate last night, as I understand. It's going back to the House of Reps now. Do you think that it's fine as it is, or would you like to see any changes to it?
Look, we certainly want to see the bargaining code legislated. We do have some concerns. In particular, we believe that there should be a provision in the code which requires media organisations to spend the money they get from the code on producing journalism. At the moment, there's no requirement there. We want to see the benefits of this go to newsrooms, not boardrooms.
Can you see why Facebook has slammed the door shut at the moment, or it might be just a tactic, but Google has gone down the path of signing multiple agreements with different organisations?
Look, it's commercial decisions and commercial negotiating tactics. Google is obviously satisfied with the commercial arrangements it's struck with media organisations in this country. From their perspective, Facebook obviously isn't.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave there. Paul Murphy, thanks for coming in and having a chat to us.
Thank you.